Many of our core beliefs are formed in response to past traumas or significant life events. The formation of certain beliefs may have served us or even saved us in the past, right? Where there's a belief, there is a reason for that belief. But sometimes we hold on to those beliefs for too long and they're currently outdated and maybe they need an upgrade. During a psychedelic journey, these past experiences may resurface, providing us with an opportunity to re-examine and heal from them. But it is during integration where we can work on our belief system to change the narrative around these past experiences and transform our relationship with them. Welcome to Modern Psychedelics, where we explore the transformations made possible through intentional engagement with psychedelics. This podcast will help you integrate high consciousness living into the everyday and deepen the work ignited by altered states. You can expect balanced and grounded conversations around therapeutic, ceremonial, and recreational containers. My name is Lana Pribic, your host and guide. I am a 3-time certified professional life coach, and I work with people who want to integrate higher levels of consciousness into their daily lives so they can feel more peace, fulfillment, and connection. After all, our time here on Earth is so brief, so let's make sure we're really living. The song you hear is called Lost Horizon by Peace Sign. All right, let's journey. Hello everyone. It is August 9th, so just a week before this episode is going to be released, and it feels so good to be creating for you again. Thank you for your patience in the month of July where we took a break at Modern Psychedelics, but it feels so good. So good. I say this every time after we take a break, but it feels so good to be back. So I'm back today with another solo episode, and I'm so passionate about the topic that we'll be discussing today, which is doing belief system work. And I'm going to be talking about what a belief is, how a belief differs from the truth, why this is relevant for people who are working with psychedelics. And at the end, I'm going to be sharing 7 empowering core beliefs that I have adopted over the years that might help you as well. And I'm also going to be sharing the old disempowering beliefs that I replaced them with. So let's get into it. This is going to be juicy. I would recommend definitely sending this episode to anyone who is on their personal development or healing journey and doesn't quite understand the power of belief systems and our beliefs. This is so much deeper than mindset work. So let's start with what is a belief in a belief system and what is the work of doing belief system work. So a belief is an idea that a person holds to be true. The key word here is that a belief is an idea. What is an idea? An idea is something that only exists in the mind. I want to highlight this for you guys right here, right now. A belief is something that actually only exists in the mind. It's only real in our mind. So us humans have many beliefs or ideas about ourselves, the world, politics, spirituality, how the world should work, how society should work, and so on. And we take these beliefs to be true. And since we take these beliefs to be true, they greatly influence the way that we show up and the actions that we take in life. A belief system, therefore, is a set of ideas which together form the basis of how we see and relate to the world. And therefore, how we show up, and even deeper than that, how we experience life. So this is really powerful stuff. I think that the purpose of beliefs is that they guide us in how to live our lives. They also allow us to practice free will or autonomy, right? We get to choose our beliefs if we are so lucky. Of course, there are many people in the world who are told what to believe and prosecuted because of their belief systems. But really, we do get to choose our beliefs and therefore how we want to live life. So in this episode, I'm going to be really making the connection between our belief system and how we experience life, how we experience ourselves. So for example, we all have the free will to choose whether we believe in a greater power, God, a greater energy. And if we do believe that there is something greater, we also have the free will to decide what that greater power is, right? what it looks like. There's so many different religions and spiritual paths that are all belief systems that attempt to explain a higher power, right? Based on our beliefs about this, it'll determine how we live life. So just imagine you have two people, right? One person believes in a greater power and one person does not. Those two people, based on this belief system, are likely to live very, very different lives. And even when you look at a group of people who all believe in a greater power, based on what their understanding and what their belief of what that greater power is and the qualities of it, even they will all live very different lives. Now, I'm not saying that one way of living is better than the other. I want you guys to be really mindful and aware if you are in your mind just starting to categorize believing in a higher power is better than not believing in a higher power or vice versa. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that one way of living is better than the other either, just that they are different. And the key here is that these different ways that we can experience our life, let's say our lifestyle, can be informed and is informed by our belief systems. So while beliefs can sometimes be very empowering and aligned and consciously created, intentionally created, there can also be beliefs and belief systems that are unconscious and misaligned with what we value, with what our truth is. And when our beliefs are unconscious and not aligned with our values, we are much more likely to experience dissatisfaction in life. That can look like, just living a life that you don't love to live, but it can also feel meaningless and purposeless. It can feel like there's a lot of tension. It can feel like there's a lot of resistance. It can kind of just feel like life is a bit of a struggle when we are not living a life aligned with our values, when we are not operating from a belief system that is aligned with what we really value. And yeah, maybe I need to do an episode on values as well, because that's a whole other topic of knowing your values and coming to know your values. But typically we want our beliefs to align with our values in order to really maximize our satisfaction in life. So I want you to think about an area in your life that you're not happy with. And next, I want you to identify the beliefs you have about that area. Okay, so let's do an example. And maybe after I give an example, you can pause this episode and reflect, or just make a note to yourself to do this after you listen to this episode. So let's say that you are unhappy with money or finances, right? That part of your life. You want to ask yourself, what do I believe to be true about money? Or about my ability to earn money? Or about what it means to have money, right? I'm willing to bet that anyone who is not happy with money in their life does not see money as an abundant, empowering resource that supports life. It's more likely that they believe money to be evil or bad or greedy or any kind of disempowering idea about money. So the beliefs that we have about money are going to greatly influence how we manage it and how open we are to receiving it. And as a result of this belief system, we subconsciously may push money away because it's bad or evil, or we may subconsciously invite money in and allow money to feel safe coming in because we love it and we are open to it. The truth is that money, like everything, is completely neutral. It's not good or bad. It's our beliefs about money that make it so. I'm using this example around money because my money belief system is something that I'm currently working on, and I know that there are tons of people who can relate to that. So I hope that example hit home. The beliefs that we have about money are going to influence how we experience money in our life. So this goes for anything. This goes for our beliefs about work, love, partnership, friendship, life itself. All of these beliefs that we have greatly impact how we experience life. So belief system work refers to working on your belief system, right? Looking at some of these more subconscious beliefs, and often subconscious can just mean something that you're completely unaware of until you're aware of it, because it's just been there forever. Like if you learned one thing about money when you were little from your parents, And you just carried that with you your whole life until someone was like, that's interesting. Like, why do you believe that? And how does that impact you? And we never really question it. So that's belief system work. It's much deeper and more impactful than mindset work. So as a core energy coach, this is a lot of what my work revolves around. It's guiding people to identify the belief systems that are holding them back, releasing those belief systems with just grace and love, and then exploring new, more empowering, more aligned belief systems, and finally integrating them, which just means living life as if those beliefs were true. It's really exciting stuff. And when I say belief system work is more empowering than mindset work, that is because our mindset is actually informed by our belief system. And our belief system will inform our mindset or the types of thoughts that we have in any given moment. Then our thoughts create an energetic response in our body, which creates emotion. And these thoughts and emotions lead us to take an aligned action, which ultimately lead us to the results we get in life. Another example for how this might play out is I may have a belief that it's just completely wrong and bad for someone to purchase luxury items, right? I might have this belief that people who purchase luxury items are completely selfish and, I don't know, like unconscious and vain and all of these types of things, right? And let's say my friend purchases a luxury car and I think that it's so wrong and I get upset about it, right? I get angry about it because I'm like, how could she do something so wrong? How could she be so vain? How could she be so frivolous? And because I have these thoughts where I see my friend as doing something wrong, these thoughts are created that actually make me angry. They create this anger response, this stress reaction in my body. And as a result of that stress reaction and that anger that I'm feeling, I will act from that place, right? Which might look like, I don't know, losing it on my friend or doing something out of that anger that I may regret. So I hope that helps you understand how the belief systems turn into thoughts, turn into emotions, turn into actions, turn into results, right? The result of something like that would just be probably pretty tumultuous friendships and relationships. As T. Harv Eker says, in order to change the fruit, you have to change the root. The root is our belief system. And our belief systems, like I said, are often unconscious and so default that we don't even know what our beliefs are until we actually take an intentional look at them. This is why it can be so powerful to work with a life coach such as myself, because I am there to be your mirror and to show you what you are not able to see for yourself. And going through so much coaching myself, man, I am so hyper aware of whenever a belief or belief system pops up, I can just catch it like that now. So let's talk about what I mean by beliefs versus truth. So to summarize what we've already talked about, our beliefs are the building blocks that create our internal narratives, and they shape the way that we see the world. Our beliefs play a significant role in how we make sense of the world around us. So think about beliefs as the vocabulary that's available to you to write the story of your life. It's like the word choices that are available to you to create the story of your life. So anytime something happens to us, we filter it through the lens of our belief system. For example, say you're walking down the street and you see a friend on the other side of the street. This friend looks in your direction and then turns away. How might you make sense of this, right? Truly, how would you interpret that? Maybe take a moment to pause before I go on. How would you interpret it if you were walking down the street and you saw a friend on the other side, they looked in your direction and then looked away? What would you tell yourself about that interaction? It depends on your belief system. Let's say if you have this deeply held belief that maybe you are like not lovable, which is a very common belief that many of us hold in different ways. But let's say that belief is completely subconscious and just running the show behind the scenes, and you're not aware of that, right? If you have this deeply held belief that you are not lovable or that maybe people just don't like you, you might tell yourself this story that your friend ignored you and doesn't want to be associated with you because they just don't like you, because you're just unlovable and no one likes you, right? This might ruin your mood for the rest of the day, cause you to feel sad, irritable with your family and friends. It might cause you to fall back on your work and just enter like a depressive slump for the rest of the day or week. All because your belief system created a story that may or may not be true. On the other hand, if you believe that you are lovable and loved, you might tell yourself that your friend was probably in a rush and that maybe they didn't recognize it was you, that it was a busy street, it was far away, they didn't actually see you, and move on with your day, noting that you'll just mention this to your friend, like, hey, I saw you on the street the other day, did you see me? These are both stories created based on your beliefs. The truth here would be the fact. Like, neither of these stories are facts. The truth is the facts, which is that you saw your friend walking down the street. Since you cannot see the world through your friend's eyes, you don't know for sure if they saw you or not. So the truth is the facts of what happened. The truth is what is. Truth is indisputable. For example, it's indisputable that you saw your friend walking down the street. Maybe unless you mistaken them for someone else, but let's just say that you were quite certain it was your friend, right? Everything else is a story, and stories are created based on our beliefs and our perceptions. So again, belief systems give us the vocabulary to create these stories. That's what I meant by that. But these stories are not necessarily truth. Truth, or the facts, can only be accessed when we are fully present and aware of the present moment. If we're living through the past or the future, maybe we're worried about the future or we're carrying the past with us still, we cannot see the truth of what is in front of us, right? Instead of seeing the truth of what happened on the street, you will automatically go towards creating a story based on the past or maybe worries about the future. Okay, so there you go. That's a little crash course in beliefs versus truth and belief systems from a life coach. This is really the cornerstone of a lot of what I do, so it's so fun to share it with you. Now I want to talk about why belief system work is really relevant for anyone who is working with psychedelics. Belief system work is particularly relevant when working with psychedelics because these experiences often bring us face to face with some deep-rooted beliefs, and we're able to see how these beliefs shape our reality. I don't know about you, but I've had so many experiences with psychedelics where I realized, wow, I never knew that I was operating from this and that I thought this to be true about myself. And I can so clearly see now how this idea that I have about life or myself is just running the show, and how it has been running the show. Psychedelics have this unique ability to dissolve the boundaries of our default state of consciousness, allowing us to explore the deeper layers of our psyche. This can be both enlightening and challenging, as it often involves confronting long-held beliefs that might not be serving us. And in some cases, these beliefs might actually be causing us harm, whether it's psychological, emotional, spiritual, or even physical. When we enter a psychedelic journey, we're really opening ourselves to the possibility of profound transformation. However, this transformation is not just about the psychedelic experience itself or the visions we have or even the insights we get. It's about integrating those experiences into our everyday lives. This is where belief system work becomes crucial. So I want to share some other ways that this belief system work is relevant for anyone working with psychedelics. So psychedelics reveal unconscious beliefs to us. They can bring to light unconscious beliefs that drive our behaviors and emotions. I was speaking into this earlier, but these beliefs can often be so ingrained that we take them for granted as truth, as fact, as it just is the way it is, and there's no other way. A psychedelic experience can help us see these beliefs from a new perspective, revealing how they might be limiting us. As we start to see that these beliefs are just ideas and not the truth, just that alone opens us up to a new possibility. And I hope that in just listening to this podcast right now, you're feeling an opening to new possibilities for yourself in your life. After all, if we are going to have a belief system, and as humans we must, we might as well choose beliefs that empower us and that feel good and that feel aligned and that will bring us to the places that we want to be. Psychedelics also facilitate deep healing. Many of our core beliefs are formed in response to past traumas or significant life events. The formation of certain beliefs may have served us or even saved us in the past, right? Where there's a belief, there is a reason for that belief. But sometimes we hold on to those beliefs for too long and they're currently outdated and maybe they need an upgrade. During a psychedelic journey, these past experiences may resurface, providing us with an opportunity to re-examine and heal from them. This is also greatly determined by the container and our facilitators, like our ability to actually have psychedelics facilitate deep healing. But it is during integration where we can work on our belief system to change the narrative around these past experiences and transform our relationship with them. So the psychedelic experience may show us what's running the show and how it's harming us. And then the integration work is releasing that, if it's still there, and then bringing in a new way of being, a new belief system to operate from. If we go right to changing our actions without changing our belief systems, it's never going to last. This is why people cannot stick to, healthy habits or habits that they want to stick to, right? There might be this say you're working on your health and wellness and you're really struggling with just sticking to a solid diet that you feel good eating, right? This might come from a deeply rooted, I don't know if I'm reaching here, but this could come from a deeply rooted belief around, not deserving a level of health and vitality for whatever reason, right? Maybe that comes from growing up in a family where that was never prioritized. And maybe it was seen as, again, frivolous, or it was just frowned upon to be someone who cares about health and who has good health. This is how tricky these beliefs can be. So unless we go back and revisit those beliefs, release them, and change them into, I do deserve good health, and good health is my birthright, and I have every right to focus on my health. Unless we shift from a belief system that is more supportive to that, chances are you won't stick to that diet or you won't stick to that exercise routine because deep down inside you believe that you're not worthy. So these psychedelics can help us create new narratives. That's the next point I want to make here. The neuroplasticity enhancing effects of psychedelics mean that our brains are more malleable and open to change during and after the experience. So this is a prime opportunity to consciously choose and adapt new, more empowering beliefs. And by doing so, we can create new narratives for our lives that align with our values, our aspirations, and who we really are today, not who we were in the past. Because remember, most of our beliefs were formed in the past. In fact, unless you consciously chose a new belief right now, all of our beliefs are formed in the past at a time when they served us in some way. And sometimes they're just not serving us anymore. Okay, let's take a breath because this is a lot of information. And I imagine that some people listening right now are having a lot of just light bulb moments right now around everything that I just shared. And I just want you to know that you are on the path and you are on your path, and it's okay however long it takes you. And that being aware of these belief systems and the work that can be done around this is just so empowering. Okay? Deep breaths. Okay. Let's now talk about aligning with our true selves. So in continuing to explore how this belief system work is relevant for anyone working with psychedelics, psychedelics align us with our true selves. Some people say they may align us with the truth or get us closer to the truth, whether that's a more intimate relationship with nature and your true nature, or a more intimate relationship with spirituality or source, or an evolution of your consciousness. Psychedelics do align us with some higher level truths about ourselves and life. So this involves peeling away the layers of conditioning and false beliefs that we have accumulated over the years. And belief system work will help us to discern which beliefs are truly ours and which ones have been imposed on us by society, family, or past experiences. This one is so powerful because when we are operating from a belief system that we consciously chose, oh my gosh, life is so different than from when we're operating on a belief system that was handed down to us, or perhaps even chosen at that time perhaps unconsciously, in order to protect ourselves in some way or get through some sort of situation that we were in. And the last reason that belief system work is important for anyone working with psychedelics is that it can enhance the integration process. This is why I work with a lot of people who are going through psychedelic experiences, because this type of coaching where we're addressing the energy, the consciousness, the belief level of who you are as a human, it can be really helpful for enhancing that integration process after psychedelics. So integration is, of course, a critical part of the psychedelic journey. I myself have been integrating for the past 10 months. I have not had a psychedelic journey, which is, if you've been listening to the show, it's pretty rare for me. But yeah, the longer I engage with psychedelics, the more I realize how important integration really is. So belief system work is a key component of integration, as it helps us to solidify the changes we wish to make and ensure that they have a lasting impact. And belief system work is not just an add-on to psychedelic healing. It's not just an enhancer. It's not something that only some people get to do or some people would benefit from. It's foundational to this work. And by examining and consciously choosing our beliefs, we can navigate our psychedelic journeys with so much more clarity and purpose, and leading to much more profound and lasting transformation. And when we create those lasting, profound, beautiful transformations for ourselves, we are in such a better place to be in service to others and to humanity and to the earth. And so that is why this work is just so important. And even though this podcast, Modern Psychedelics, really focuses on the micro level, the individual, the personal work that can be done, it's all done with a guiding light of making Earth and humanity a better, more conscious, more evolved place and species. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, because sometimes it can feel like doing this work is really selfish, and I constantly have to remind myself that it's not. And I work with so many clients who battle with this, so I know that a lot of you listening out there can probably feel that this is maybe something that is selfish. And yeah, just encouraging you that it's absolutely not. Did you know that your problems don't come from the situations or circumstances themselves? Your problems are likely coming from how you approach them. More specifically, your problems might be coming from the level of consciousness that you approach them with. It's pretty simple. Here's how it works. Anytime something happens to you, you can approach the situation from various levels of consciousness. You can come from a low level of consciousness that perpetuates the problem and keeps you stuck, drained, hopeless, and under stress. Or you can come from a high level of consciousness that helps you move forward, because you can more easily tap into creative solutions and access your intuition. The good news is that at any given time, you can choose how you show up, and therefore have a massive impact on how your life unfolds. The trick is to be aware of all of the options available to you, which most of us aren't. We're stuck in our default modes, which is why most of us feel stuck and unable to move forward. But that job that you hate, your codependent relationship, or the numbing anxiety of not knowing your purpose in life can be the exact thing that moves you forward and gives you clarity, as long as you're approaching it from a high level of consciousness. In my coaching program, I'll help you become hyper aware of your current approach and help you shift to higher levels of consciousness. By addressing those unconscious energy blockages keeping you stuck, we unlock flow, acceptance, peace, and joy in life. And this isn't woo-woo. I use a research-validated coaching method that's benefited thousands worldwide. So whether you're corporate or spiritual or both, this approach offers practical integration into daily life, and it happens to pair brilliantly with psychedelics. High consciousness living is achievable every day, not just during psychedelic experiences. Psychedelics surely illuminate the path, but it's our job to walk it every day. My coaching program will provide you with a grounded and operational way to integrate high consciousness into your daily life. I am currently onboarding new clients into my practice, so if you'd like to learn more about the program, visit modernpsychedelics.net/coaching. And if you're ready to do this work, go ahead and apply now and book a discovery call with me at modernpsychedelics.net/apply. I'll have both of those links in the show notes for you. All right, let's get back to the episode. Okay, so to close out this jam-packed episode, I want to share some core beliefs about myself and life that I've developed during my healing journey. And I'm going to be sharing the new belief and the old belief. So when I say core belief, this is something that I just take to be as truth, and I operate from this place. This is just how I view the world. And as you're listening to these, I want you to think about how different the thoughts, emotions, and actions would be from the old belief and the new belief. Okay, so let's do this together. Okay, number one, I had this old belief that it had to do with problems and my ability to face problems. It was like problems are a sign that everything is going wrong and I can't handle problems. And as a result, problems just used to create a lot of stress for me, and I was just constantly in a state of fight or flight because I had this deeply held belief that problems were bad, and on top of that, I was someone who can't solve problems because problems are bad and just they're too big for me. The belief that I currently hold about problems is that every problem has a solution, and I am somebody who always figures it out. Like when I say that to myself, every problem has a solution, and I am a person who always figures it out. Like that resonates so deeply to me. Like I can just sense how true that is for me, that every problem has a solution, right? And that I am someone who always figures it out. I have the past to back me up on that. I have always been someone who figures it out. So now when problems present themselves to me, whether it's in my personal life or my business, I'm ready to face them. I'm not afraid of them. And as a result, I just solve them fairly quickly and they don't cause me stress. Problems are just a natural part of life, and they're actually an opportunity for me to tap into my creativity and my resilience and grow and learn even more. So that's a really powerful one, which is why I wanted to mention it first. Okay, number two, I had this old belief that there's good, there's bad, there's right, there's wrong. It was kind of this like black and white thinking that there is an answer out there that's external to me. I just have to find it. And that answer is like very specific, or it's the right answer, right? So I guess the belief here would be that the world is binary, right? The world is black and white or good or bad. Now I believe that the universe is neutral, that everything simply is, and that life is only and exactly what I make of it. I am the one who gives meaning to life. Again, when I say that out loud, the universe is neutral. Everything simply is. Life is only and exactly what I make of it. I am the one who gives meaning to life. It feels so true to me. It feels so much more aligned with the higher levels of consciousness that psychedelics have trained me to live in. It also just feels aligned with being the creator of my life and being the creator of this experience of life. It just feels so good. It's a belief system that empowers me to take charge and control of my life. So I love that one. I love that I've been able to move away from this black and white thinking into a place of neutrality and into a place of empowering myself to create meaning. Okay. The third one was around judgment. Okay, so I had this old belief that when someone judges me, they're right. Everything someone else has to say about me is right, and it's very personal and it hurts. Therefore, I kind of need to please everyone so that they don't judge me, right? You can see how having this belief system that, I guess the belief system was that other people's opinion of me are valid. And other people's opinions of me are even like correct or important in some ways. This belief system caused me so much pain in my life because let me tell you, you cannot please everyone at all. As a result, I would kind of contour myself and mold myself and just try to please everyone else so that they would have this positive perception of me. And what happened over time was that I went further and further away from myself. The more I tried to please others, the more I went further away from myself. And I'm so grateful to Iboga for bringing me back to me. So my new belief around judgment is that when I judge someone, I'm actually judging myself, and vice versa. When someone else judges me, it means more about them than about me. This has been so freeing. It's been so incredibly beautiful to it's not that I don't care, it's just that I'm not concerned with other people's opinion of me. That doesn't mean I'm not open to criticism. I'm very open to that. I love to hear feedback and understand from another person's perspective how I might be able to be more compassionate, more loving, more understanding, and so on and so forth. It's not that I don't care about how other people perceive me. It's just that when I am thinking about whether I want to, like, let's say, wear something or say something on the podcast or share something or say how I really feel, I'm just not as concerned about how it will come off and how it will be perceived as I am concerned with staying in my authenticity and my truth. So again, this has been just so healing for me. It's really cool to be doing this because when I wrote out the script for this episode, I just wrote out like the old belief and the new belief. So I'm kind of just ad hoc elaborating on them. And I'm finding that it's just really profound to reflect on years of coaching and years of psychedelic work that have like truly shifted my belief systems and therefore life. So yeah, really fun to be doing this. Let's go to number 4. So I used to have this belief that in order to change a situation, the situation itself had to change. I guess the belief system here would be that like everything is kind of what it seems, and that there's not much power to the internal world, right? Like the belief system was that the external world is so much more valuable and valid than the internal world, right? If the situation doesn't change, then there's nothing I can do about it, type of thing. This led to a lot of control patterns, codependency, trying to fix things, trying to fix people instead of focusing on myself, or, trying to fix ex-partners because they were being in a way that I didn't want them to be. And instead of focusing on my own inner work, I would focus on them, right? Or instead of focusing on how I perceive a situation, focusing on trying to change the situation itself. So my new belief around this is that when I change the level of consciousness that I'm approaching any situation with, the situation changes without actually changing. And this is maybe my favorite one here, because this is what I see as true power. Like when I think about what it means to be powerful, I think that this is it. Having the choice and practicing the choice to choose the perception or the way that you perceive or approach any situation. We all have the power to do that. A lot of us just don't exercise it. And it's so amazing when something quote unquote bad happens or a negative situation happens and there's nothing we can do about it, but we can change how we think about it and how we approach it and what we gain from it and what we learn from it. And in that way, we're kind of changing the situation. So that's a really good one. By the way, feel free to play with any of these that I'm offering to you guys and make them your own. And I hope that this is in any way helping you maybe identify some of your beliefs and ways that you can change them up change them to be more empowering. Okay, let's go to number 5. I had this old belief that everything just takes too long and that I want to be at the finish line now. I guess the core belief there was that the destination is more important than the journey. So if you actually want to know more about this, listen to episode 100, where I talked about the importance of playing the long game in life and medicine work. It's a really good episode if this is resonating with you. This kind of, I just want to be there already. Like, I don't care about the journey. I don't value the journey. I just want to be at the end because, this pain is too much. It's too hard. I just want it to be over. That episode is really great for helping you to embrace the journey and play the long game in life. So my new belief about that is that good things take time, so I might as well enjoy the journey. And I also have this belief that moving slowly is sacred and intentional. And as a result, I've just put so much less pressure on myself to get there and be there. Yes, I definitely feel stressed sometimes with my career and financially, just because I jumped into this work at 30, and I've been doing it for only 3 years now. So I started my career at the age of 30, and there's so many times where I feel behind and I feel like I'm not there yet, and I feel like I haven't reached that level of success that I want yet. And I constantly have to remind myself that good things take time, enjoy the journey. Moving slowly is sacred, it's intentional, and it's going to allow me to, when I do arrive there, to have much more fruitful results and abundant results, because I've taken that time to move slowly and intentionally. And I truly believe this at my core. It's just one of those that I have to remind myself of more often than some of the other ones. Okay, number 6, I had this belief that the only way to be successful is to do what everyone else does. It was kind of this idea that there's a path to success and you kind of just have to follow the steps. I had this core belief that I could never be successful doing what I love to do. This led to such a tumultuous and grueling 2.5-year master's degree program in economics, where I experienced the lowest of lows in my mental health. It resulted in years of waitressing with a master's degree. Like, I had a master's degree and I was waitressing because I had no idea what I wanted to do. And it just led to, I don't know, just a lot of questioning. As a result, it took me a very long time to get the guts and courage to just go for the career and life that I wanted to go for. So my new belief is that my time and energy are my most precious resources. And since I have to exchange my energy and time to make money, I might as well do work that I enjoy. Right? And this one's good. The only way that I can be successful is to do what I love to do. The only way that I can be successful is to do what I love to do. The way that I think about it, if I'm doing something that I don't enjoy, first of all, that in and of itself is not success to me, because I want to enjoy my life. And to me, I want to put my energy into something that I love and believe in. That's just something that is really important to me. I know it's not important for everyone. But also, if I think about a career in the long term, I imagine it would be very difficult for me to continue to motivate myself and be disciplined enough to continue making progress in a career path that I'm not completely lit up about. That's just the kind of person I am. Like, in human design, I'm a generator, so I'm supposed to be doing what I'm like totally lit up and passionate about. And if I'm doing something I'm lit up and passionate about, I have endless energy. And I don't fully believe or buy into human design, but that was one element of it that I definitely felt resonated. So yeah, I feel that this new belief that the only way I can be successful is to do what I love to do has been so supportive in keeping me going and focused and just keeping on in a much less traditional and safe and secure career. Okay, last one. I had this old belief that I need love from other people in order to be loved or lovable, which led to seeking love outside of myself and ultimately losing myself along the way. Similar to what I was saying earlier about the judgments and opinions of other people, just kind of losing myself along the way, getting further and further away from myself. So yeah, this was a big one. The new belief is that I am loved and that I love myself and that all the love that I will ever need is already in my heart. And this was something that came up for me during the 5-MeO experience, where I really connected with and felt and experienced all the love that is accessible and available to me in my heart. And I know that I have that there, and that I can love myself and share the love in my heart with other people. So that's a pretty huge transformation from the, codependent young girl that I once was, seeking love from everyone and everything outside of herself. So yeah, I'm going to leave you on that one. And as you're listening, I'm just curious what belief systems are coming up for you. I'm curious if any of my old beliefs are resonating with where you currently are. And I'm also curious how you might be able to bring in some more new empowering beliefs and not just think about them, but actually start acting from them. When we start acting as if our belief system is true, that is the way that we integrate them. So how do we actually go about doing this belief system work? Psychedelics are a good place to start. Use and do at your own risk, okay? Don't listen to me. But yeah, psychedelics, I'm assuming if you're listening to this podcast, you probably engaged with them before. They illuminate the false narratives, which are, the beliefs that no longer serve you. But once you are aware of the belief that is limiting you in some way, the first thing you want to do is bring acceptance and compassion to it. So instead of judging it, and then judging that you're judging. I don't know if you've ever been in that cycle, but let's say you uncover this belief that, oh my gosh, I have this belief that money is evil. How could I? Where did this is not serving me. Instead of getting judgmental and worked up about it, get curious about why you have that idea that money is evil, when you got such an idea into your head, and what purpose that served to you at the time. And you can even start thinking about everything that belief system helped you with and brought you to, and what did it help you cope with, right? That's how we can bring acceptance and compassion to it. Once you go through that, you want to find a new belief that feels true for you today. So this might take some centering. This definitely takes knowing yourself and knowing your values. But when you land on that new belief, it's just going to feel right. It's going to feel activating. You're going to feel a sense of alignment in your body when you just nail it on the head with the new belief that feels true. So start to catch yourself wherever you're operating from the old belief, and you can ask yourself, what would be different if you approach the situation from the new belief? If you struggle with the process, or if you even want to get serious about this process and really overhaul your belief system, working with a professional life coach such as myself can be very helpful for training you to identify outdated beliefs and integrate new ones. And of course, this is a luxury that not everyone has access to. There's so much work that you can also do on your own around this. So much journaling, definitely exploring some of my other solo podcast episodes will be helpful, and just taking it day by day and slowly. And don't forget that integration of a new belief system is acting as if that belief system were true. And the more that you do that, the more it will just become your core belief system and just a part of who you are and the place that you operate from, rather than that old story that no longer does serve you. So I hope that this was helpful. I want to leave you with a very relevant quote by Robert Edward Grant. I don't know who that is. I just saw this on Instagram and I really liked it, and I thought it was very fitting for this conversation. The quote is, "Consciousness can only expand to the volume of the cage of our own belief system." Consciousness can only expand to the volume of the cage of our own belief system. Hope that you enjoyed that. As always, feel free to DM me with any of your thoughts. I love to hear from you. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a friend. It is the number one way that the podcast grows. Really appreciate that. And if you would like to support the show, one way that you can do that for free is to give the show a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. I am at 174 5-star ratings on Spotify. Please help me get to 200. It takes 3 seconds. Just go to the Modern Psychedelics page on Spotify. At the very top, you'll see those 3 dots on the right-hand side. Click those, click rate show, and hit 5 stars. And of course, a written review on Apple Podcasts is, it just makes my day and helps me get into the charts. So thank you so much for listening. It's so good to be back. And you will hear from me again next week with an interview with a very special guest. All right. Ciao. Thank you so much for listening to and supporting the show. To stay in touch, sign up for my mailing list, which can be found in the show notes or on modernpsychedelics.net. If this episode sparked something within, please let me know by leaving a review of the Modern Psychedelics podcast on Apple and Spotify. This really helps to share these messages with those who need them, which is the whole reason why I do what I do. And if you haven't already, come join the ongoing conversation over on Instagram with other beautiful souls. We have an incredible and conscious community over at the handle Modern Psychedelics. And don't forget that the work begins after you come back down to earth. And I'm standing shoulder to shoulder, doing it with you.